Bryn Eglwys Slate Quarry lies isolated high in the hills above the Afon Fathu Valley. In 1864, a group of Manchester investors, led by the McConnell family, took it over. They expanded the workforce and built houses for them in the nearby village of Abergynolwyn. To transport their newly won slate to markets across the globe, they built a railway. One of the first steam-operated narrow-gauge railways in the world. This railway was known as the Talyllyn. It opened for slate traffic in 1865 and started carrying passengers the following year. The railway originally had 2 steam locomotives, 4 passenger carriages and a brake van, all of which are still in service today. Unfortunately, the investors' returns never matched expectations, and in 1909, when the leases on the quarry were due to expire, there was a real threat that it and the railway would close. It was then that Henry Hayden-Jones, a local businessman and prospective parliamentary candidate, promised to take over both enterprises if elected. This would be a promise he kept, and the railway became wholly Welsh-owned and operated for the next 40 years. By this time, the railway was very much a hand-to-mouth operation. Slate traffic fluctuated rapidly, it was buoyed up by demand during both World Wars, but otherwise was generally in decline. Tourism, however, began to flourish, and in the summer, trains could be packed with passengers, with some even riding in wagons coupled behind. By the end of the Second World War, the writing was on the wall for both the quarry and railway, with the former closing following a collapse in 1946. Sir Hayden, as he was by now, had vowed to keep the railway running as long as he was alive, but his death in July 1950 led to the prospect that the railway would be closed and sold for scrap. However, a group of some 40 railway enthusiasts held a meeting in Birmingham on the 10th of October 1950 and formed the Talyllyn Railway Preservation Society. After much hard work, and thanks to Lady Hayden generously gifting the railway to the society, on the 14th of May 1951, the only working locomotive, number 2 Dolgoch, hauled the first passenger train out of Tywyn Wharf on what was now the world's first preserved railway run by volunteers. Over the following years, the railway was transformed from a near-derelict state to the thriving line we see today. Track was renewed and new locomotives and carriages were brought in or built in-house. As the fame of the railway spread, passenger numbers grew enormously. Then, in 1970, the Society began its most ambitious project, working to extend passenger services along the old mineral line from Abergynolwyn to Nant Gwernol, which was achieved in May 1976. Over the succeeding years, facilities, particularly for passengers, have been improved with new toilets, cafes and many other advancements. The historic importance of the railway was recognised in 2021 when it became the southern hub of the slate landscape of North West Wales UNESCO World Heritage Site. While previously the Society had been honoured with the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service in 2013, the railway has survived many challenges in its time, no more so than the pandemic. However, due to careful management, the railway came through unscathed, doubtless helped by the fact it carries no debts or loans. The railway has also sought to reduce its carbon footprint by installing solar panels, purchasing electric vehicles, and experimenting with different forms of fuel. It has also taken measures to increase biodiversity wherever possible. Today, the railway carries around 50,000 passengers per year and has a turnover in excess of 1.2 million. It is conservatively estimated to contribute over 4 million to the local economy. It employs over 20 people, as well as having over 450 volunteers, with some 4,500 members of the Preservation Society to support it. Our volunteers come from a wide variety of backgrounds. We have a large number of young people, many of whom have come through our groups such as tracksiders and navvies, and now volunteer in roles from guards to drivers. Women play a full part in running the railway, from our general managers downwards. We also have a large representation from the LGBTQ community, with many finding the railway and its community a safe space. However, as we approach our 75th anniversary as the world's first preserved railway, it is time for an honest appraisal of the state of our current facilities, particularly for our engineers and volunteers, and to look to the needs of the railway for future generations. Therefore, we are launching a major redevelopment project, Preserving Our Past, Building Our Future, which aims to equip the railway with the resources of people and plant that it needs for the future. The main objectives of the project involve providing new engineering workshops and building new carriage maintenance facilities, as well as a paint shop that can be used year-round. Another key element of the project is to increase our engagement with the local community and further increase the diversity of people involved in the running of the railway. Engaging with those who are neurodiverse and their families and aiming to become an autistic positive venue is another aspect of the project. We also recognise the need to have an increased range of volunteer accommodation. A few years ago, the railway purchased Trefry, a house adjacent to Wharf Station, with the intention of converting it into volunteer accommodation, including ensuite rooms and an accessible suite, subject to planning consent. We also need to improve our visitors' knowledge of the railway's heritage. The intention is to provide an all-year-round facility at Talyllyn Wharf to tell the Talyllyn story, as well as the history of Welsh slate and the people and communities the railway served. Our cafe and shop have become well used year-round and at peak times need additional capacity. The tentative plan is to remodel the station building at Talyllyn Wharf to provide an accessible entrance direct from the street and introduce an adaptable space which can be used for the cafe during peak season, but can also provide a larger meeting space for community use. All this is planned to be accomplished in a phased programme over a period of 5 to 6 years, at an estimated cost of around 4 million. We are delighted that the National Lottery Heritage Fund has given us a grant of £110,000 to finance the development of the project, which is being match funded from our own resources. The current plan is to submit an application to the fund for around 1.5 million towards the delivery of the project. We are also applying for other grants, as well as looking for sponsorships and other resources of funding. To aid the Preserving Our Past, Building Our Future project, we are also launching the 75 Appeal, which aims to raise a minimum of £500,000 over the next 5 years. To achieve this, we need people to make not only one-off donations, but also to become members of our 75 Club of regular donors. We need businesses to sponsor the project, and any offers of help will be appreciated. To get involved, please visit our website. This railway is a time capsule, a piece of Victorian Britain that has survived into the 21st century, bringing alive a way of life long past and keeping it for future generations. Help us preserve our past and build our future.